Chair Ison, will you please convene the Committee on Campus Planning, Buildings and Grounds?
Thank you, Chair Day. Will the Committee on Campus Planning, Buildings and Grounds please come to order? There are 13 requests for public comment, so we're going to ask each speaker to address the board. 1 minute per speaker, please. The first speaker on my list is Mayor Robles, and followed by Christian Jackson. Is the mayor here? Is Christian Jackson here?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that you, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am, over here.
All right, 1 minute.
Okay. So, hello, my name is Christian Jackson. I am the current ASI president at California State University, Dominguez Hills, and I'm here to comment on the CSU Dominguez Hills Master Plan revision listed as an action item for you today. As the official student voice of the near 17,000 students at Dominguez Hills, I would like to respectfully express the sentiment of our board of directors towards the revised master plan. The Associated Students and Corporate Board of Directors has received minimal knowledge and presentation throughout the preparation of said plan, hence losing the opportunity to provide the necessary student voice and feedback so essential to the shared governance of our university. Therefore, I'm urging the Board of Trustees to consider postponing this action item until its following meeting. In doing so, it will allow the university time to diligently inform and educate us students about the master plan while taking into consideration our feedback and input, especially when this plan will guide and shape our campus for the next 15 years. It is unfortunate and dismal that I stand here in front of you delivering this message. Nonetheless, it's my responsibility to deliver it. I must emphasize that we are not standing in opposition nor in favor, largely because we have not been granted the information and time to digest and dissect it. We are heavily beholden to the university for its countless dedication, work, time, and effort invested into this project thus far. While they have conducted extensive consultations and meetings with various external and internal constituencies, it seems they have neglected the core constituency of CSUDH. Thank you.
Thank you. Charlotte Brimmer and Del Huff. Ms. Brimmer.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlotte Brimmer, and I'm the president of the University Heights Homeowners Association. Our association has been in effect since 1991, so we take great pride of our community. I am also here representing the residents and the members in the community in support of our university, Cal State Dominguez Hills, and its master plan. And understanding that we understand that the master plan is a roadmap, and it's a roadmap for the future of the campus. As the university develops and grows, so does the betterment of our community. Our students and our surrounding members of the community deserve a premier university that strengthens learning and research expertise with the needs of the community in mind. We want a university that our community can further engage through the opportunities that the master plan will provide. Cal State Dominguez Hills is a very unique and special place, and approval of the master plan will allow far more growth and progression. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brimmer. Del Huff.
Good afternoon.
Good
Thank you very much. My name is Del Huff, and I am the president of Stevenson Village Homeowner Association, which is represented by 700 homes directly coming across from California State Dominguez Hills. I do have a couple people here from Colony Cove, which is a mobile home park, as well as our own councilwoman, Lula Davis Holmes, was here. She had to leave because of the time matter. We are all stating our support for our master plan. California State University Dominguez Hills has been a wonderful partner for us. I'm a longtime person almost anywhere. I retired from the Board of Supervisors from the county after 40 years of service. I have been in Carson directly across in that community for 35 years. I have been involved with the campus for at least 21 years. We are looking forward to seeing the vision of the master plan unfold before us. Our president, Parham, has made it quite available to everyone in the community. He's gone around to introduce as well as to show people exactly what is coming. He has been very transparent. We are all in unanimous favor for our grand master plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. John Wogan, followed by Michael Stewart.
Whoa. Oh. Good
Careful.
afternoon. My name is John Wogan. I'm the president of the Carson Chamber of Commerce. And the Carson Chamber supports the Cal State University Dominguez Hills Master Plan. 60 years ago, the trustees made a decision to place Cal State University and Carson over isolating it in Palos Verdes Peninsula. Wise decision. Carson is becoming a very vibrant hub of the South Bay. We have the world-class Dignity Health Sports Park. We have the Porsche Center, only one in the whole world, only 2 in the United States. And we're developing the LA Premium Outlet Malls. A vibrant community goes hand in hand with a vibrant university. Please support this master plan. Thank you.
Mr. Stewart, followed by Jan Vogel. Rick Polito. Mr. Stewart?
Well, good afternoon. I've enjoyed listening to you on a number of subjects today. I'm not going to take too much of my time. I want to say this, though. I'm the vice chair of the Carson Chamber of Commerce and also the chair of the Economic Development Committee of the Carson Chamber. What we do is volunteer our time to do a public-private partnership with government, with the community, and with business for the development of the economic security and vibrancy of the city of Carson. Carson is a city on the rise. As you heard previously, all the development in our city is growing. Our college, we want to help them grow with us. I hear your dedication. I hear what you are saying. We support also you in your dedication for us and our community to grow. We believe it is a win-win for our community to support this master plan of Cal State Dominguez Hills. Thank you for my time.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Rick Polito.
Good afternoon to our California University Honorable Board of Trustees, to the community. My name is Rick Polito. I'm an environmentalist and an advocate for many, many years, homeowner for over 35 years of the city of Carson. I fully support the Cal State Dominguez Master Plan. As my colleagues have said earlier, this will strengthen our mission. It's vital to our education and to our economic resources. It's going to be a win-win for our community and for the South Bay at large. This master plan will help make us become the nation's urban leading universities here in the city of Carson. It will bring our PhD programs up, our research programs up, and more than anything, it will enhance and build quality of life for our community. And for us homeowners, it will enhance our homeowners' values. So I would also like to say that on the master plan, with its benefits, it's very important that we go forward with this. As I was a planning commissioner back in the day, we did the AEG project over there. It's so successful. The partnerships and collaborations are without saying. I would look forward to being with you when the groundbreaking and ceremonies when we go forward with this project. Unfortunately, our mayor is MIA like he always is. We don't need that type of politics in our city. We need brothers and sisters to come together for our children. So God bless you and God bless Cal State Dominguez. I'm looking forward to this collaboration and partnership in the city of Carson. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Polito.
I have your letter here too. Would you like the letter for the record?
Yes, can we?
Pardon?
We'll pick it up from you. Thank you.
Very good.
Jan Vogel, followed by William Van Tassel.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to address the trustees today. It's an honor to be here today. I oversee the South Bay Workforce Investment Board, which consists of 11 cities in the South Bay area. And I've been involved with Cal State Dominguez Hills probably as long as anybody in the room. In fact, 50 so years ago, I was a student there, and the whole campus consisted of an apartment building across from where the campus is now. And it was probably, the whole campus was as big as this room. And And since then, for the last 37 years, I've been the executive director of the South Bay Workforce Investment Board, and we've been connected at the hip with Cal State Dominguez. We've together been able to achieve so many successes, and I am so proud of Cal State Dominguez. We support the master plan. We need to go now to the next threshold of achievement. And Cal State Dominguez is the jewel of the South Bay, Carson, and the entire South Bay. And we want, with this master plan approval, it will be the diamond of the South Bay, not just any jewel. And we have so many things on the table to partner with Dominguez once this is approved, the business park that's going to be created, the research, the bioscience companies that are going to become partners with Dominguez. So I wholeheartedly support it. We want to work with them. And I do want to say it's such a pleasure to hear and to see Dr. Melendez here today, who did such a wonderful job at Inglewood Unified through all her hard work, and we're very sorry to see her go. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And you're Mr. Vogel, right?
I am.
Okay, good.
Okay.
William Van Tassel, please. Jerry Arredondo.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerry Arredondo, alumnus of California State University, Dominguez Hills, and owner and creative director of AC Graphics Multimedia Design Lab. And I'm here in strong support of the university's master plan. The university's master plan will position our university with modernized academic buildings that will allow students from our region to learn in an environment that will position them for future success. Research opportunities will be developed in the innovative classrooms that this master plan will bring to the campus that has been underdeveloped and under-resourced for a very long time. As a student, I enjoyed my experience at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I hope that this master plan will enhance the opportunities for future California State University Toros. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina Earl, followed by Adam Carrillo. Christina? Adam.
Thank you for the honor, for the ability to address the Honorable Board of Trustees. My name is Adam Carrillo. I'm the Executive Vice President for Agency ETA, a small business located here in downtown Long Beach. I'm also a board member at Long Beach Transit, board chair at Cal State Long Beach's Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, as well as immediate past president for the Long Beach Commercial Real Estate Council, and a recent alumni for Cal State Dominguez Hills. I'm in full support of President and Dr. Parham's vision for the CSUDH master plan. And I also recommend the university expand the on-campus housing and transit or mobility options. The CSU system really should focus on obviously housing students, housing teachers, and expanding the mobility options that are presented, as opposed to, there will be a choice where should we house more cars or house more students. And I appreciate the ability that this master plan provides for Cal State University Dominguez Hills. So I appreciate obviously the tie between workforce, the ability to attract more workforce opportunities for our students, and more importantly, locate those potential jobs directly on campus or at or near. So thank you.
Thank you. We have one last speaker, and if I passed anyone, you were out of the room when I called your name, just come forward towards the mic and we'll pick you up at the end. So the next speaker is Lula Davis Holmes. Lula? Did Mayor Robles show up, or I'm sorry that our schedule may have thrown some of the public speakers off. Are you Lula?
No, I spoke a moment ago. I mentioned her name. She asked me to please make it known. She is our sitting council person, but the time made her have to leave. She is in full support of the master plan. However, that was her reason for coming. She is a resident of Carson, a long-time resident, and she is again in favor of the forward-thinking master plan.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thanks to all of the public speakers. Again, our apologies that the schedule got so off that it may have held you here longer than you wanted to be. It's now time for the committee to consider today's consent agenda. Are there any objections to the approval of the consent agenda? Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. We have 2 items on today's discussion agenda. Item 2, you will not be surprised to hear, is an action item requesting approval of the Cal State Dominguez Hills Master Plan revision. The item will be presented by EBC Steve Relier, President Tom Parham, and ABC Vice San Juan. Steve?
Thank you, Chair Eisen. So this first item requests approval of the California State University Dominguez Hills Campus Master Plan revision and certification of the final environmental impact report. Now, the last time we had a master plan for Dominguez Hills was in 2010. So this is a revision of that plan. And as you heard, as the demand for CSU education continues to increase, the master plan presented today by President Parham leverages the value of land at CSU Dominguez Hills to grow accordingly, enhancing student learning both inside and outside the classroom. This master plan reflects a future for Cal State Dominguez Hills that advances the campus's mission of providing unparalleled educational experiences for students from the South Bay region and from the state of California. So with that, I'm going to turn the presentation now over to President Thomas Parham.
Thank you, Executive Vice Chancellor Relier, and good afternoon, members of the Board of Trustees and the public.
Pull up the PowerPoint, please. Sorry, President Parham. Thank you.
There we go. As 11th President of California State University Dominguez Hills, I am proud to present the master plan for our university. Literally years in the making, it represents a comprehensive plan crafted with extensive input from both campus and external communities through a series of open forums and committee meetings. This master plan showcases our commitment to a sustainable and resource-salient campus with a long future ahead of it. With student success as a primary driver for our efforts, the plan calls for a strategic infill of our campus with enhanced experiences for academic pursuits and student engagement, creating purposeful outdoor spaces and main streets that are appropriate for our climate, while respecting the planning principles embodied in architect A. Quincy Jones's original plan and buildings for the campus. We are in the midst of a campus transformation, and the new vision is taking shape. Several exciting new building projects are proceeding across campus, having ushered in a new era at Dominguez Hills. There are currently 3 major projects you see before you on the PowerPoint slides that are under construction. First, the Innovation and Instruction Building, new student housing, our Living Learning Community Complex, and the Science and Innovation Building, this last building that will be ready for students in the fall of 2020. These new buildings are game changers, ladies and gentlemen, and will increase our instructional, co-curricular, and research capacity and provide state-of-the-art learning and living spaces to better serve our students. California State University Dominguez Hills is bursting with potential to change the trajectory of many people's lives based on the community that we serve. So with the vision and expertise to provide first-rate educational opportunities to a much broader segment of California citizenry than ever before, the master plan reflects the forward thinking needed to provide facilities at CSU Dominguez Hills to lead the mission of academic excellence, equity, and access. Now, in addition to our plans for additional academic and student support facilities, we envision a public-private partnership that will promote a vibrant community with housing prioritized for faculty and staff, parking, and retail spaces. In addition, a campus business park that will directly tie to our academic mission by creating opportunities for learning through innovation, research, and internships. We have recently engaged in broad consultation with City Council members, naming residential communities and homeowners, and we're happy to report that not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 out of 5 City Council members have provided written letters of support and their voice. In addition to the letters of support received by adjacent residential communities that you've heard speak today, we've also received support and letters from Anschutz Entertainment Group, or AEG, who operates the Dignity Health Sports Park facility, in addition to LA Live, support from alumni, local Chamber of Commerce, and campus faculty leadership. This new community, called University Village, will be a game changer for our campus and the surrounding community. The development will improve land use on the proposed estimated 76 acres of the campus on the easternmost corner of that, and will help create a passive income stream that will support campus growth for years to come. So I hope you will support our vision for the future as we work to expand access to serve enrollment demands and provide students an environment that supports their higher education goals. And so as we go with the last slide, and the master plan, we're going to move into that. We want you to know that at Cal State University Dominguez Hills, we are literally transforming lives that transform America. With that, I'll invite my colleague, Vi San Juan, to continue and go over the additional details of the master plan. Vi?
Thank you, President Parham. This slide is the first in a series to illustrate the proposed master plan. The 344-acre campus is bordered by residential neighborhoods on 3 sides and light industrial uses on the east. The proposed master plan will accommodate 20,000 full-time equivalent students. Shown on this first slide in blue are the proposed academic and instructional support facilities. This slide adds green, which are self-support facilities, a student union addition, rec center addition in the center, and to the south, a relocated childcare facility. The slide adds proposed student housing in purple. To the north is immediately adjacent to the student housing under construction, and to the south it shows in pink. So this is a correction to your attachment in the agenda item, which was incorrectly colored as orange. So there's more student housing proposed than what was shown in your agenda item. The tan structures are proposed parking structures. These are essentially in the same locations as was proposed and previously approved by the board in the 2010 master plan. The yellow indicates changes to the Dignity Health Sports Stadium. This EIR includes increasing the capacity to 30,000 attendees from 27,000, so a 3,000 increase. And to the very north, are reconfigured hotel and training facilities for Dignity Health. The orange is the University Village. The darker orange includes apartments and with parking. And to the very top along are apartments with mixed-use development, so retail on the ground floors. And along the east is where the business park is located, and Innovation Village. The final environmental impact report has been prepared to analyze the potential significant environmental effects of the proposed master plan in accordance with CEQA and state guidelines. The final EIR has determined there are a number of impacts that remain significant and unavoidable, which the Board of Trustees must consider prior to certifying the EIR. These impacts include traffic, noise, air quality, and greenhouse gas emission impacts. The impacts may be short-term during construction, but also cumulative as the campus develops. With regard to traffic impacts, 42 intersections were analyzed. Of these intersections, the traffic consultant identified improvements of $4.2 million at 11 intersections to mitigate traffic. But we could not mitigate all the potential impacts resulting from the master plan. The consultant calculated that CSU's fair share or proportionate share of the improvements is 90% or equivalent to $3.8 million. The CSU has met with the City of Carson as the impacted roadways are under their control, and they discussed the offsite impacts and CSU's proportionate share. To date, the CSU and the City of Carson have not come to agreement on the fair share amount. However, as expressed by President Parham, extensive outreach with the city and community has taken place with the master plan revision, and a number of letters of support have been received. The proposed resolution includes approval of the fair share amount of $3.8 million and identifies the CSU may consider the use of capital and operating budgets from the state, self-support entities, private developers, or any other entities to pay for CSU's fair share amount. I'll hand the presentation over to Steve for closing comments.
Thank you, Vi. As you've heard, the master plan has been years in the making and represents an exciting transformation for the Dominguez Hills campus. The plan has been responsibly created with input from stakeholders and takes all reasonable steps to mitigate environmental impacts. The plan leverages the value of existing land to bring resources and facilities to serve our students, and it will enhance educational experiences through the addition of classroom space and through opportunities for student research and internships. Staff recommends approval and certification of the final EIR pursuant to the requirements of CEQA, adoption of the findings of fact and mitigation and monitoring program, adoption of the statement of overriding considerations, and approval of the master plan. We're happy to address any questions the board might have.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Vi, and especially thank you, President Parham. It's been a long time since I visited your campus, but the phrase you use, bursting with potential, was certainly evident then, and I'm glad to see it's being realized now. Do we have any questions or comments regarding this item? Jane, Romy, Larry, and Jack. So Jane, can you begin?
Yes, I'm looking at the proposed changes for the Dignity Health Sports Park, particularly dormitories, conference center, hotel, office complex, etc. Who will be in control of those developments, and what benefit would those bring to the campus?
Essentially, the land, as I understand the land ground lease agreement, AEG is in fact responsible for that particular segment of the campus and what they do. So they have been proposing to increase both the stadium capacity, which is the 3,000 seats, as well as they proposed years ago the proposal of putting a hotel there that would support their athletes who come there to play. That's where the LA Galaxy currently play, and currently right now where the LA Chargers have their home games as well, who I think will be moving to a new stadium. Whatever entity comes into that, that'll be controlled by their particular space and ground lease agreements that we have with them that were made long before my tenure there.
Very good, Trustee Carney. I also wanted to make sure that the CSU and your campus is not paying for modification to the stadium. That is very good.
No.
I want to acknowledge, I don't know whether they are here, but I want to acknowledge the many people that have sent me emails opposing this change to the master plan. I did read them. I did read the reports that they sent me. We didn't hear much from the public on this. I don't know whether they listen, but I've read these reports that caution against PPPs or P3s partnership. The general gist of this criticism is the fear that we are bartering our land away and becoming too commercialized. And, you know, if you look at this campus map, even that with all the projects on there that are not even in existence yet, it is very apparent that this campus has an abundance of land. And I think the current land use is a loss of opportunity because it's lying there and we can do a lot better with it. The campus needs to be built out. It has a lot of land that is good. It has tremendous potential that needs to be realized, but we don't have, neither the campus nor the CSU has the cash to do it all in a reasonable amount of time with our own funds. So as Trustee McRory said at the last meeting, we should explore more of these public-private partnerships, especially when they do benefit the campus and our students and the community, as I realized when I was there and as we have heard today from public comments. So I'm very much in support of this. I like the idea. It will bring the campus of Dominguez Hills, it will put it on a level of the other campuses that are fully built out, and coming from a campus that is located literally in a city where we basically have no land available, I'm very envious of the potential that you have, and it's high time that we realize it. I'm fully in support of this, despite having considered all the risks and PP3 partnerships of the many reports that I was sent. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, I had a chance just in the last 3 weeks to visit the campus along with the president. I will tell you that his statement that what is occurring on this campus is transformational is an understatement. Dominguez Hills suffered for many, many years with an image issue. And I will tell you that what we have done and are currently doing on that campus has made this a first-class campus. I looked at and I've shared some thoughts with the president as well. Frankly, today, Dominguez Hills has shifted substantially from being truly a commuter campus to, in fact, a residential campus now, with a far, far majority of its new entering students in need of housing. I'm glad that this plan calls for a great deal of additional housing. I just question if even this is enough, particularly when we face such an incredible housing crisis that we now face in this area and most of Southern California. So I hope, Mr. President, that we haven't understated that need in the future. I hope that you've looked at that closely, and when time comes, I hope that we're able to quickly proceed with the additional second phase of your student housing, because it is desperately needed. And in fact, what the student body told me during that visit is one of their highest priorities, is the ability to meet the housing need on this campus. This is no longer what I consider to be a typical urban campus. It is a modernized, spacious campus, and I applaud this master plan for its thought. I did have kind of a similar question about the partnership with AEG and this addition, who pays for it, et cetera, but I believe you've addressed it with regard to the land lease that's in place. I hope they also get to have their share of the fair share of some of the off-road improvements as well. So that's it. I really don't have a question. It's a comment.
Just a couple of quick questions. On the AEG lease, was the lease, when the lease was cut in the early 2000s, was it for the full 88 acres?
Yes, I believe so.
And as this development is being approved by us today, does that, will that development share any of the revenues with the campus?
The current agreement, there is a revenue share with a component, I want to say primarily with parking receipts.
Parking receipts are the particular piece, but with these new developments here with hotels, other stuff, I want to say that the benefit is more than simply financial, because what a strategic partner does is not simply line up for their financial support, but rather internships for our students, opportunities to grow and learn in co-curricular ways are all part of that. And in fact, that is one of the reasons why we received a letter from Dan Beckerman himself, who's the president of AEG, who not only supports the plan, but the strategic partnership that we are now trying to re-engage with the university.
I understand the university gets certain benefits from this, but it would be normal in a real estate ground lease deal that you would be paying they would be paying some kind of a base rent, and then you would participate in the revenues coming off the new development.
Andy, do you recall if there's a base rent? No. But I think there is a portion of gate receipts also. I should have looked at that ahead of time.
Yeah, I'd like to get some more information, maybe when I come up next Monday.
We'll look forward to receiving you on Monday, and we'll make sure we have that information available.
Second question is regarding the TDM program. Does the CSU's campuses in any way subsidize bus or trolley passes as part of the TDM program?
It varies by campus. There are some, I want to say San Francisco pays a high percent, so some more than others, yes.
Is that going to happen here?
We're in the process of exploring a range of options and choices to provide transportation into the campus. So among that will be that as well. But I'm not prepared to say what the specifics of that will be. I'm not informed about that element.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee McGrory actually addressed some of my questions, because I did want to know about the Dignity Health Sports Park, which was formerly the StubHub Center, if there were any contract changes as a result of the new master plan, and that we as a CSU, and particularly with our campus, that we have a fair share, that we benefit from this.
When the hotel started to move forward a few years ago, the campus did start to renegotiate with AEG the contract terms. But I think when the fiscal crisis hit, the hotel went on hold. And I don't think they've re-entered negotiations. But at one time, there were discussions going on based on the additional development.
All right, so there are no changes?
At this time, no. This is just the master plan, relocating the hotel training center and adding the seats. So this doesn't impact the financial plan or
Okay.
agreement.
And then as a result of the audit, with regard to parking, do we have enough parking? And I know under audit that it says that for proposed parking structure at the Dominguez Hills campus, CPDC sent a detailed memo to the campus interim vice president outlining additional issues the campus must address before proceeding further with the project. So did that in fact happen?
The campus is working on that now. So we've asked them to look at their transportation demand management plan, look at their committee that they have looking at transportation, so that they will do that before they come forward with a proposed parking structure.
All right, but with this proposed plan, do we estimate that we do have enough parking for our students?
Based on the total amount of spaces proposed, which between the University Village and campus, it's about 14,000 spaces. That's on par with the number of campuses, sister campuses. So I would say we looked at Northridge, Pomona, San Diego, campuses that have grown to a greater number of student count and faculty staff population. So what is in their plan is consistent with other campuses that have already grown to that size.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, we're approving the master plan today. When we get to a point when there's a hotel deal to move forward, that will come back to the trustees?
That was the intent before, when we were working with the campus.
Correct. So we'll have a chance to look at any deal specifics at that time to make sure that it's fair for all parties.
That's right.
Good. President Parham, particularly glad to see the support from the city of Carson. I know at times our relationship there hasn't always been the best, and I commend you and the city leaders in Carson for coming together and thinking about what's best for that community, what's best for our campus. And so thank you for that. Madam Chair, this is a great project at a campus that suffered from decades of disinvestment. And when this happens, Dominguez Hills is going to be a destination. Mark my words. So I would like to move it.
Yeah, just one more comment. When it does come back with specific projects, I'd like to have the general counsel at least take a look at the ground lease to see if any of those projects trigger an ability for us to renegotiate provisions in the ground lease.
Great, thank you. Sounds like I already have a motion. Thank you. Second, all committee members only can vote. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, the item is approved. Item 3 is an information item regarding the preliminary 5-year capital plan. This item will be presented by Stephen Bai. Steve?
Thank you, Chair Eisen. This item provides information to the Board of Trustees on the development of the university's 5-year capital outlay plan ending in the fiscal year 2024-25. The preliminary 5-year plan has been developed through an iterative process in consultation with each campus. The plan reflects the ongoing needs of the CSU and aims to provide a framework for continued implementation of each campus academic plan. As each of you know well, our facilities and infrastructure across the entire system are aging and in need of repair and replacement. This plan emphasizes renovation and renewal of not only the buildings in which our students, faculty, and staff learn, teach, and work, but also the critical elements of infrastructure that keeps campuses running, all in support of our overarching academic mission. Each year, we update the plan to identify current campus capital priorities and funding needs. The plan is provided to the legislature and is intended to support our use of CSU funding for capital and to justify additional funding from the state. As noted in the information item, Most of the funds from the multi-year financing plans approved in November of 2016 and 2018 have been budgeted for projects that have received past board approval. Therefore, we will take a three-prong approach to funding our facilities needs. First, we'll continue to ask for one-time funding for deferred maintenance from the state. Second, we'll include in our operating budget request permanent base budget funding for facilities investments, and you'll hear more about that tomorrow. Third, we anticipate that the governor will sign AB 48, the general obligation bond that you've heard of, which will pave the way for funding from bonds approved hopefully by the voters in March. As a reminder, this is an information item to share our progress on the 5-year plan development and solicit trustees' input. We'll return to you in November at the board meeting for approval of the final plan and potentially seek approval to finance a portion of that plan to fund a number of priority projects. I'm now going to turn the presentation over to Vice San Juan.
The 5-year plan outlines future needs which will support the CSU's academic mission. Before we look at what is in the plan, I'd like to quickly review what you have previously approved and how the funds have been used to primarily address our aging facilities and infrastructure, with the limited amount used for new buildings to support campus growth and increase student access to the university. Since 2014, the board has approved $2.5 billion in projects, primarily through CSU financing. And of that amount, more than $2.1 billion has been used to address deficiencies in existing facilities. The different shades of blue represent the $2.1 billion investment in existing facilities, and the types of projects funded included infrastructure, building renovations and replacements, science facilities, and seismic strengthening. The green section on this slide represents $298 million spent on projects to increase student access to the CSU, things like constructing new lecture and laboratory space. The slide demonstrates investments consistent with the board's categories and criteria for priority setting, with a focus on infrastructure in existing buildings, balanced against the needs to improve the quality and quantity of learning space. I'll now move to looking forward and address the 5-year plan. Each campus has submitted their priority projects for review. The projects continue to be reviewed by staff and me to assess project scope, budget, and how the projects address campus deficiencies. The 5-year plan includes 3 main project types: infrastructure improvements, academic projects, and self-support projects. These projects address different campus needs, with the overwhelming majority of the projects geared towards addressing critical infrastructure deficiencies and facility renovation and modernization. This year's plan includes a total of $17.4 billion in projects, with $8.3 billion in academic projects, $2.9 billion in infrastructure, and $6.2 billion in self-support projects. That would be student housing, parking, student unions. While the main purpose of the 5-year plan is to implement the academic program of each campus, there are external factors that affect the plan. Just to highlight some, our aging infrastructure, our higher construction costs, enrollment growth, and resiliency. And resiliency in this slide is not only improving our seismic strengthening of buildings, but hardening our facilities as far as fire life safety. And because of the wildfires, also looking at impacts of climate change. So how to make our buildings more resilient to utility shutdowns, for example. In the next few weeks, we'll continue to work with the campuses to refine the proposed budget, scope, and schedule of the projects. Both academic and self-support projects in the 5-year plan are still under review, and we're working with campuses in an iterative process. This is an information item presented for your consideration and feedback. We'll return to the board in November, and I'll turn it back to Steve to conclude the item.
Thank you, Vi. With the ongoing support of the board, we continue to work to make the built environment on our campuses enabling of the academic mission, providing appropriate facilities to support our students and our faculty and staff. The governor and the legislature provided one-time funding for deferred maintenance projects in the 2019-20 fiscal year, the year that we're in right now, and we're very grateful for the impact that these funds have on our campuses. However, As costs rise, buildings age, and our student population grows, the need for adequate funding for projects will continue. If successful, AB 48, to be voted on in March of 2020, could provide much-needed funding for our facilities. However, we must also continue to pursue other methods of project funding, including state deferred maintenance funding, permanent base budget increases, and public-private partnerships. Chair Eisen, that concludes the presentation, and we're happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much. Excellent presentation. I think I've sat through quite a few five-year capital plan presentations, and this one was absolutely the best. Thank you so much. Any comments or questions from the trustees? Peter?
Clarify on page 3 of your item, the best news perhaps of the year, if not of my 4 years on the board, is the very generous allocation from the legislature and governor of $239 million for deferred maintenance. My question is, how are we going to spend that? And I'm looking now at page 1 of 6 on attachment A. Do we just apply that to the priority projects on that? Where does that money go?
Actually, Trustee Taylor, we have already submitted a list, so a different list than what is in
You already
attachment
spent
A.
it. Man, that was fast.
We have submitted that list to Department of Finance, and we added a few more childcare projects to that list as per their request, and it's under their consideration. So attachment A is actually other projects we still need funding for.
Could we get a copy of the list of deferred maintenance projects that qualified for that money?
Happy to provide that.
Great,
Yep.
thank you.
Any further comments or questions? This is an information item. We don't need to vote on it, so that concludes the business of the Committee on Campus Planning, Buildings, and Grounds.
Thank you, Chair Eisen.